Thanks for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Limnacker, and just want to share with you some of the top stories that we're following right now, starting with the issue of the police workforce in the city of Clarkston. This is in DeKalb County. They've been taking steps. They've just taken some steps to salvage what is left of the police department, which seems to be losing officers left and right because of low pay. So the mayor has just announced immediate pay raises just in a short time ago. Many officers have left their jobs in Clarkston. The city has been having to get help from DeKalb County Police. Well, at City Hall, which also serves as police headquarters, the mayor announced a 12% increase in the starting salary for police officers. That's still about $3,000 less than the starting salary in DeKalb. But Mayor Beverly Burke said city council members have agreed to an immediate boost of the starting salary for Clarkston police officers from $46,000 to more than $52,000, plus signing bonuses of up to $5,000. Current employees in all city departments will get an immediate 8% raise. The city of Clarkston is pretty small with about 14,000 residents, but at full staff, its police department would have 21 officers. Excuse me. Right now, according to the chief, it only has 15, including her. With some leaving for better paying jobs, that number could go to 9 officers in the coming months. At a recent city council meeting, several officers and Clarkston residents told city council members the police officer shortage is so dire that often only 1 officer and 1 sergeant are on duty at any given time. Excuse me. Well, the mayor does pledge to keep looking at the city's overall budget and to find money elsewhere for police officers as well. Another story that we continue to follow is this bridge closure. It's going to affect a lot of drivers, especially in the Sandy Springs area, already affecting many people. This bridge at Pitts Road in Georgia 400 officially closed earlier this morning at 5 o'clock. And you can expect this bridge to remain closed for an entire year. So if you take this way to work, you're basically going to be rerouted. GDOT has been sharing their detour route, so you know exactly what to expect. You're going to see the signs along the pathway. The project has been really a long time coming. GDOT saying that the infrastructure here is 50 years old, long overdue for replacement. They're also planning to widen it in addition to this. As part of the project, Roberts Bridge will also be replaced along with Kimball Bridge. This is all part of a big plan to bring a multi-use pathway to Pitts Road, to bring wider sidewalks as well as some express lanes. Sandy Springs officials tell us don't rely on your cell phone for navigation at this time in case the map system is not updated, but really just best to follow the detour route and the signs that are posted along it, and that way you'll keep on the correct path. Also want to let you know about a stabbing investigation that continues to be underway in DeKalb County. Police were called to a gated community in southwest Atlanta for this scene that you can see on Flat Shoals Road. When our crew got to the scene, they saw a victim fighting with paramedics and police, as you can see, refusing to be transported to the hospital. Officers eventually put the man into handcuffs, forcing him into an ambulance. He was taken to Grady Memorial. We are working to get an update on his condition and, the investigation currently underway, so we're working to get the latest on that, and we'll continue to keep you up to date there. But also want to let you know about an equine therapy center that's been absolutely devastated by fire. And this center, which is in Cartersville, provides really important services to particularly young people who have special needs, whether it's physical disabilities or intellectual disabilities, and people who just kind of need that boost in their lives. My colleague Asia Wilson has a closer look at the impact.
Burnt pieces and caution tape.
What used to be our barn held 8 years of memory.
Is what's left behind at Beyond Limits Therapeutic Writing after this massive fire on May 25th.
Everything that we worked for and saved for to purchase is it. There's nothing left.
No horses died and no one was hurt.
And you can still smell it after 2.5 weeks.
It was the home for 10 horses, 12 stalls, and all of Kimberly Oviedo's equipment for her business, where she served 60 individuals with special needs weekly.
We work with children and adults with a multitude of disabilities, anything from cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, post-traumatic stress disorder. Some of these kids are in and out of the hospital all the time.
This has struck a personal chord for Iz,
It made my heart hurt.
who is 25 years old and has suffered multiple brain surgeries.
He counts down sleeps until he gets to ride again. He's been asking me every other day how many sleeps until I get to ride again.
For many like Mary Coward's 6-year-old son,
this place just means so much to all of us. I mean, it's just changing our kids.
this is the only place where their loved ones can be who they are and not be defined by their diagnosis.
It's their safe place. It's their place where they can just be free.
As the owner says, it will take between $600,000 to $800,000 to rebuild.
We really need the community to continue to step up and help us
They hope your help will give hope and life back to their riders.
so that these kids can continue in their therapy.
Now, the owner here says insurance won't cover anything that they lost. They said the biggest need now is monetary donations. To see how you can help this organization, visit the story right now on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. In Cartersville, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
All right, thanks to Asia Wilson for that story. Okay, another thing that we've been following is this story, Shoot the Hooch. This Atlanta summer tradition floating down the Chattahoochee River got its nickname from Shoot the Hooch, which is actually a tubing business that's been putting people on the water for decades. But now the owner of that business says he is going to have to close down because he's moved to what he deems an unsafe part of the river. National Park Service relocated Shoot the Hooch, their launch, from Sandy Springs to Duluth. Park rangers saying not all the businesses allowed to operate on the Chattahoochee can launch or get out at the same spots because it creates a lot of confusion and too much traffic on the water. But Shoot the Hooch owner Bill Audrey says after operating Shoot the Hooch there for in Sandy Springs for years, he feels like his customers are not fully safe when he's supposed to launch them in Gwinnett County, so he's not putting anyone on the water. The National Park Service says that they're standing firm in their decision, though, to move the business. Let's listen.
Going to reassess what we're doing. It's based on analysis of what is happening in the park and our mission, and is not specifically directed towards Shoot the Hooch. When the decision was made by me, I did not say we have to look at Shoot the Hooch. I said we have to look at the operations and what is happening with our visitor experience.
And the business Chattahoochee River Company actually has been putting people on tubes up in Gwinnett County for over a decade. And while they admit that part of the river is a little bit more difficult to navigate on their side, their owner says it is still safe to float. Business is booming this summer. So, you know, various perspectives from different businesses impacted differently by this decision. But obviously the National Park Service says they're sticking by what they have decided. But thanks so much for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. We're going to continue to keep you up to date with all of the top stories and, of course, your forecast. And you can also find the latest, of course, through our app or AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Take care.